Hi, DDS here, and this is a recap of my guard-heavy Orc side against Falcon's very strong Lizardman side with Agility 4 Skink from Season 62. Now, this is my first ever Prem game, and Falcon is a bit of a legend with the Lizardmen. Won a few titles, generally speaking. You couldn't ask for a scarier first-time matchup. And I think I was intimidated here. I make a few uncharacteristic mistakes and one that's far too common that I do. But my first turn's all looking pretty well. I form a loose cage around the ball. I get him down. I'm pretty happy. He comes back to me, pressures the ball, runs a few people around the side, and I launch into my second turn. That is when the far too common mistake that I make pops up, which is I just get absolutely caught up on a blocking battle. I can't get anyone down to start with. I roll a whole bunch of both downs, and I spend all these orcs all around here doing nothing but blocking and failing to block people down. Now, my last few are fairly successful. In fact, I seriously injure. He's armor value 8 Saurus. No, I don't. I seriously injure a different Saurus. But in any event, I've used all these turns up. I've left my ball carrier exposed. Why on earth I would do that, I don't know. Look, I try to make the best of it at this point, and I move the ball carrier there, and it forces him to both dodge and go for it with his tackle, and gets me down. And not only does he get me down, but he gets his Agility 4 Skink in on the action, who goes and picks up the ball, and Agility 4 Skink, of course, is dodging everywhere 2+ unmodified. And I'm pretty silly. However, I do have a tackler blocker with diving tackle in case things go pear-shaped for myself, and I get that Agility 4 Skink down. I get a pretty decent bounce, which allows me to kind of have some tackle zones on it. It forces him to make a lot of blocks. Now, what's great here is that diving tackle on that Agility 4 Skink forces him to try to pick the ball up with his Agility 3 Skink. Fails, despite using a reroll. And I get a fantastic bounce, which lands there, right next to my Strength 4 Agility 4 ball carrier. Picks up the ball, runs away, and I'm pretty happy at this point. I can't stop him hitting the ball carrier next turn though. I am able to put a guard player there, which mitigates the damage. He stands everyone up, throws some blocks. He does get a chance to block that ball carrier, we'll see it here. He puts an assist on it, he blocks it, he gets a pushback, he re-rolls it, and gets a skull. So I'm stoked. My own coaching muck-up hasn't worked out too bad. I'm sitting here, I'm going to be able to score, and I'm just going to have to defend for 3 turns. Now, I spoke again that I was a little intimidated. I think that's definitely true. Despite my great setup, he does pressure the ball a bit, enough that I would certainly score and back my side to defend, but I don't. I don't score. I continue to stuff around with the ball, and I fail a very critical go for it here, which would have both nailed that Skink and stopped that Saurus being able to use his break tackle. And he gets a chance to blitz. However, since I failed my go for it, so does he. And he falls over and doesn't get a crack. However, he still does have a diving tackle Skink on the ball, and I can't get down with a 3-dive block. I have no re-rolls left. I'm coming up on my last turn very soon, so it's tense. It's tense. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to score or not, and he has another chance of hitting the ball, though he doesn't have any re-rolls left either. So he hits the ball. He's able to hit it, but can't get me down. It is a block dodger. And he does not. He does have tackle. So I blitz the Skink. I'm very happy to knock him down with diving tackle, and I score. Obviously, the double 3+ essentially from Ripper is a better odds than dodging when your opponent has tackle. I score, and look, he's able to. He really tries hard for a 1D score. 1-turn score, and he's unable to do so. So, kicking off the second half, here we go. He's got an extra Saurus off, which is a big deal For Lizardman, it is 11-11, but I'm liking things at the moment. He goes hard down this flank, which suits me fine. I'm up for an all-in wall. I've got some strength. I can't really out-strength him, but I've got a hell of a lot of guard. And yeah, off we go, smacking each other. He can't get me down that well, though. Then he badly hurts a blitzer, which is no good. And look, he sets up a fairly decent cage around that ball. Now, on my turn, I am just absolutely unable to knock anyone down. I do wrestle a skink down. That barely counts. You know, I blitz a skink, can't hit it. You know, hit some other things, and at the end of the day, he is now outnumbering me and has everyone upright. So now I knock out a Saurus up here, which is great. We've evened it up, but this area here is not looking good for me. He throws a lot of blocks, throws a lot of you know, pushes, contains me to the corner. He runs his skink, agility 4 skink up, and things aren't looking good. Now with one go for it, he puts me out of range of being able to blitz him from anywhere on a thing. With a second go for it, puts me out of the range of even being able to put a tackle zone on that skink. So why would you go for it a third time? Well, he does, and he snakes it. Not only does he snake it, but he knocks himself out, and all of a sudden it is a very different a game. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked with that. Very fortunate incidents. You know, I pressure the ball as much as I can. I can't get anyone to the ball, but yeah, I'm pretty happy. That being said, he has a very mobile side. He has movement 8 skinks. He has a lot of break tackle. He's not going to have a problem pressuring the ball either. He also does a great job of getting his prehensile tail in on the action, and yeah. So at this point in time, it's anybody's. However, I am thinking at this point in time I'm going to be able to at least draw it, which I'll be happy with. He tries to pick up the ball, but he can't get through with these 3+ dodges, and I'm able to knock this skink down. So I'm stoked. I get even happier when I'm able to run this, knock this croc score down, which allows me a 3+ dodge. I pick up the ball. The guy does have a wrestle though, so obviously it's not very confident in keeping it. I go backwards here, and that stops. That gets me totally out of the range of his, you know, his break tackle block Saurus, which forces him now to block with his skink, but he's unable to get me down. In fact, he fails the dodge. So things are looking great. I'm now knocking his Saurus down. He's got a skink there, and I can surf that skink. So at this point in time, it's looking like I'm going to run out into a victory. However, anything can happen, and anything did happen. So I'm looking forward to coming up with this, what he does here. So here we go. So he starts by making a dodge roll into 2 tackle zones. With break tackle, that is still a 4+. He succeeds in that first time. He then makes a 1-die block against the ball. Given that I have wrestle, that really is just a 4+ if he wants to get the ball down. Obviously his plan is to try to grab the ball with this skink here, despite my tackle that's surrounding him. He 1-die block is no problem at all, knocks it down. Then the ball bounces, of course, straight onto the Saurus, who has to catch it with a 6 and has no problem doing so. After catching it with a 6, then has to dodge. Keeping in mind he's used his break tackle with a 5+. He does have a reroll, which he has to use, but it gets there and he goes for it to score one of the most unlikely touchdowns to see on a Blood Bowl pitch. That being said, it's clear that I've had the dice for the game. I mean, not hugely, but you know, I have had the advantage, so you can't really complain about something like that. It was pretty funny. I've got 2 turns to try to score, which I don't mind. However, I have no rerolls, and he gets a perfect defense. He sets it up. It's nearly impossible for me to score now. I do decide that my best chance is actually to go for the 1-turn score with no rerolls. I mean, I can't even hand the ball off. I think I fall down going for it, and that's the game. It becomes a draw, 1-0 draw. Very exciting, and yeah, that's I was pretty happy with it, to be honest, even though I was so close to getting that win. And this is DDF signing off, and I'm just reminding everyone that guard conquers all.